we're back. Neale Donald Walsch, author of Conversations with God. You can go to his website at nealdonaldwalsh.com and see all of the things that he has there, workshops and books and DVDs and all sorts of things. And I think I'll open up. Maybe somebody wants to ask a question. I believe the call-in number is 877-342-6673, 877-342-6673. And I don't know if you remember my convoluted question or statement, but you did have a response. So I'd like to hear what it is that you, what do you think about what consciousness really is?
I think consciousness is self-awareness. I think consciousness is a word we give to a confluence of energies, a mixture, if you please, of the various energies of life itself that interact with themselves, that the energies interact with each other in such a way as to form patterns of energy that oscillate at certain frequencies, which you and I in the English language might call thought. And I think that depending upon the level at which these manifestations occur, that is the strength of the manifestation, the frequency of the oscillation and so forth, depending on all of that, I think that we wind up with different levels of consciousness. That is, all life forms are imbued with this essential essence of life that you and I would call consciousness, but not at the same level, not in, to use loose terms, not in the same amount. Therefore, certain forms of, for instance, of plant life have less of this particular oscillation than certain forms of animal life, as opposed to other forms of animal life, and in fact, apparently the highest form of animal life, the most self-conscious form of the animal life upon the earth, who we have named human beings. As far as we know, we are the most highly evolved or the most self-conscious sentient beings on the earth. And there is some controversy that maybe dolphins or whales might actually interact in a way that is far more conscious than we are, but at this point, we assume we are at the top of that particular list. So consciousness, in my awareness and in my explanation, is a product or a manifestation of the mixture or the combining or coagulation of different forms of energy at various oscillations and frequencies, such as to produce the outcome that you and I call thought. And ultimately, that thought produces a thought about itself. That is, ultimately, we wind up with what you and I would call, in this language, self-awareness. We become aware of ourselves, and in that moment, the miracle of divinity is made manifest in physicality. I think that physical life is divinity made solid, made physical, and that is how I define life. So, to the degree that we are conscious of ourselves, by the way, obviously not all life forms are. I enjoy watching my dog walk past a mirror and bark at himself in the mirror, not knowing, of course, that he's looking right at himself. Because dogs, to just use a common example, are not self-conscious to the degree that they can look at their own reflection and not know what they're seeing.
Right. Hey, wow, that's very well put. So then I would guess if that's the theory, then I guess your theory would allow for even higher oscillations than the oscillations that have created the construct of a human body. So are there possibly creatures even higher than us that are vibrating at higher oscillations that we can't see that are here with us?
I don't know whether they're here with us. I want to say yes. I don't have any doubt that there are creatures of higher consciousness in the universe. No question in my mind about that. Whether those creatures are among us, whether they are in fact invisible or operating at some other level of reality, if there's an alternate universe right alongside of us, or all those wonderfully intriguing questions, are questions to which, frankly, I do not have firm answers. But as to the possibilities of those kinds of things, I'm absolutely open to those possibilities. I think that it's entirely possible that we are living in a parallel universe, and that beings of higher consciousness either are walking alongside of us invisibly, or perhaps even parading among us in physical forms that look very much like humans. That is, it is entirely possible, I suppose, that beings of higher consciousness have simply taken physical form in order to assist the mass of humanity in its movement forward along the evolutionary track. There's no doubt in my mind that beings, sentient beings of advanced consciousness exist elsewhere in the universe, and I'm thoroughly convinced that they are visiting here for sure. Whether they're walking among us is an intriguing question, but are they flying over us and observing us, and sometimes we even see them? We have these sightings and so forth of so-called UFOs. I don't think there's any question about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one of the people that is actually that inspired me to get involved in this kind of work was an anonymous author named Fulcanelli, who was an alchemist that lived in France in the 1920s. And he wrote a book about alchemy called Mystery of the Cathedrals. And in the book, he intimates just that there is a group of higher people, I don't know, creatures, beings, I don't know, vibration, and that they're manifesting as human beings, but mostly they manifest as thought and inspiration, and they're working to create like a golden age, I guess you could say, here on Earth. And that's seen, according to Fulcanelli anyway, that is their ultimate goal, and it's and that's all he would say about it. But he said that he's been with them, and that they're definitely, and he may even be among them right now, we don't know. But there does seem to be these strange synchronicities and things which are the driving force behind a lot of spiritual revelation, and it does seem to be driven by some kind of intelligence that has our best interests at heart, I think.
I wouldn't doubt the possibility of that for one moment, and I'm convinced that those possibilities exist, and I'm open to that. And I guess the only wish I have is that if that is true, we need to move very quickly, and they need to move very quickly to get humanity now to alter its present course, because we are right now in many ways on a direction, moving in a direction that is non-sustainable.
We have one more segment here, and that is exactly what I want to talk about, because I share your concern, and people who listen to the show know that I'm very concerned about what I refer to as the fourth turning, which is what we're headed towards here. We're going to be right back. I'm Jay Weidner. We're talking to the great Neale Donald Walsch, possibly one of the most articulate persons I've ever known, and that's saying a lot. I will be back. We will be back. Stay tuned, and thanks for listening.